Hi, I'm Dave Schwartz, and I'm the Horse Handicapping Authority. Today's episode is, how good is the public anyway? In the next 10 minutes or less, we are going to discuss the tote board and just how it impacts your life as a handicapper.
This slide shows public choice ranks for the year 2010, starting with first choice or favorite and going on down through eighth choice and then the horses above eighth choice. As we would expect, the more the public likes a horse, that is, the higher he ranks, the greater his chance of winning. Now, as we move on, in this slide we see that the top two choices combine for 59% of all wins. The top three combine for 73%. Now that's a different figure than has been the accepted number. For years people have said 67% is what the top three wins. It is obviously not true. The top four go 83%. And the top five, 90%. That means that 9 out of 10 races are won by the public's top 5 choices. So when you're betting on a horse that's an extreme long shot, you've got one chance in 10 or less of winning. Let's consider how it's changed over the years. Here we see a similar table from 2002. And as you can see, the percentages there will then, in the next slide here, we compare them. And you can see that there is a trend. And the trend is that the lower odds horses are doing better now than they did in 2002. We can attribute this to improvements in technology for horse players and, of course, the addition of whales, very highly skilled players in our environment. When we compare dollar nets, and that is, dollar net is the average return per $2 wagered, so the favorites there at $1.70 are losing 15%. But when you compare 2010 with 2002, it's quite clear that the horse player's lot has not improved. It's gotten worse. Now, this can be a combination of things, including increase in track takeouts. But I think the biggest difference is the whales. Here we look at public choice in races with precisely 8 horses, that is 8 entries. What I want you to see is, what I've graphed here is an approximation of the dollar net column as you go from favorite down to, as you can see, at about 6th choice, it just falls through the floor. See how the dollar net gets weaker as the public choice goes up, and then beyond 6th choice it just crashes. Now, this is a phenomenon we see in all field sizes, but it's not always at 6th choice. Now, this being 8 horses, here in this next one, we look at 10 horse fields. And in 10 horse fields, the drop-off point is 8th choice. You notice I've highlighted there's a little aberration there at 6th choice in terms of the dollar net. And it is an aberration. But this dropping off exists in every single field size. Let's take a look at smaller fields. This is 6 horse fields. And there, the drop-off point is 5th choice. So, what does this mean? This means when you're looking at a horse that is the absolute worst in his field, or maybe the second to worst in terms of public choice. You may like the horse, and maybe today he will win, but as a general rule, those horses are really bad bets. In a shorter field like 6 horses, it's only the bottom horse that's really in question. Instead of looking at public choice from the standpoint of ranks, let's look at final odds. Now, in this chart, we look at all final odds banded into 10 groups, and understand that each group begins where the previous group left off. So when you look at the 9-2 group, the group above ended at 5-2, so therefore the 9-2 group is 3-1 up to 9-2. So again, we see this sliding of the dollar nets downwards as the odds go up. But at above 35-1, it just crashes downwards horribly to where horses above 35-1 are losing 52.5 cents per wagered dollar. Now, just like with the public choices, it changes by field size as well. Here we look at 8-horse fields, and we see that the drop-off point in an 8-horse field is about 24-1. And then it drops. Look at how the dollar net goes from 154 all the way down to 118. And then at 35, it continues to drop another significant notch to 95 cents. When you look at 10-horse fields, there you see that the drop-off point, instead of being at 24-1, it's at 35-1 because the field is larger. Now, when we look at 6-horse fields, we get the same phenomenon that we saw before, but actually there's 2 drop-offs. It drops off at 24-1, then it drops off again at 35-1. Notice, we're talking at above 35-1, 6 wins in 1,000 starts. They rarely win, and when they do, even though the payoffs are huge, they just do not pay back relative to what you put in.
I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope it improves your handicapping. If you'd like some more help with your handicapping, come join me at my website, www.thehorsehandicappingauthority.com. Horse Handicapping Authority, that's me, Dave Schwartz. Come there, sign up for free, and you'll find lots of free stuff. We're adding more all the time. Bye now.